I'm Rhonda, and this is Joy Junktique, and I just want to welcome you back. And if this is your first time here, well, I'm just tickled to death that you're here. So today, what I want to show you is a quick little video of my design team project for Christy Everlasting Journals. And I just made a little folio. It's really kind of simple, but I really love how it turned out. I'll link the kit that I used down below, and it was just, I've used it before on another skinny journal that I made, and you can watch that video too in the previous videos. But I just really like the colors in this kit, and I wanted to do another project with it. So I actually got this idea from A Trace of Sparkle. She had a video on this, and I'll link that video below as she walks you through the steps of it. But I'll just kind of show you what I did. It wasn't a very hard project, but I really enjoyed doing it, and I think it turned out really nice. So let me open it up. This is just some seam binding ribbon, just a little dangle here, and this just wraps around to hold it together. Well, y'all, I just had to interrupt this video. I've got a funny story because I have worked on this video all week, and I finally got it loaded and, you know, the music added and everything, and I put it live, and as I watched it on my computer, things just got bigger. I had not realized that these little angels were not covered. So the grandma, the mama, all that stuff came out of me, and I just felt like I needed to cover them since they were on the front of the journal and on YouTube for all the world to see. So it's beautiful artwork, don't get me wrong, but the bigger the screen got, the more you could see. So I don't know, I just had to cover them. So I'm going to interrupt this video and show you how I covered them, and then just keep that in mind as you watch the rest of the video, because I'm not going to create a whole new video because I worked so hard on this one. But I just had to insert this so that it just made me feel better to cover them. I know that probably is silly to a lot of people, but I just am funny about that stuff. So they're beautiful, they're really cute, and the front of this journal just looks pretty with this image on it. But I was just in shock as the screen got bigger, and I realized that I had not even noticed that. So all that time I was creating and, you know, fooling with these pages, I just didn't notice that. So I found this cute little piece of just vintage lace that I thought would be perfect just to lay over the top, just to give them a little bit of privacy there. And it'll wrap around like this and glue like that. So even though we have these little tags and pockets, I think it'll be really cute. It'll just add another little place that you can slide something behind it. So that one can come to the front pocket, and then something could even slide behind the lace here, and then you'll have this other tag. So just wanted to give you a little update on what I was doing and how it's going to look in the end. So these images are really pretty, but on the front cover I just felt like I needed to give them a little bit of covering. So keep that in mind as you watch the rest of the video, and I will get this glued. So this is the folio, and all it is just a piece of the paper, and it's actually two pieces of paper. So let me show you right here. Okay, so to make the folio, I have two of her pages printed out, and I printed this one, and I also printed this one. And there's lots of pretty pages in that kit you can choose from, but these two I really liked how they coordinated. So what I did is I just trimmed out all the extra here. And once I got that done, then I put them back to back, like that. And so then I glued them together, back to back. Okay, so that just kind of doubles them up, because this is actually just paper. It's not cardstock, and you could very well just do it on cardstock and print both sides. I went ahead and used paper because I really wanted to utilize the sound that it would create, the crinkly sound. So once you get them glued together, then decide what's your front and what's your back. And I wanted this to be my front. So what you're going to do is, if this is my front, then you're going to flip it this way, and you're going to make a 2-inch fold on the right side toward the back, like this. And that'll give you that little pocket right there. And so then you just fold that to it like that. Okay, so then you're going to take and you're going to stitch this edge across. If you decide to stitch, now you don't have to stitch it, but if you want to stitch it, then be sure and do this side first. Once you get that stitched, then you're going to fold it back down, and you're going to go all the way around the edges. So that's going to give you this. So here's that first stitch, and then you're going to go all the way around the edges with whatever stitch you like. So that's how you get that. So that makes your little pocket here, and that creates your folio. So I hope that's not too confusing. Okay, so once you get that done, then on the inside, I just did lots of little ephemera and stitched around all the pieces that I wanted to use. If they were on paper, I tried to secure them a little better and like back them with something so they would be a little sturdier. Made a pocket out of this little piece, and so as I stitched around all of them, I came back and inked around all the edges. And if the back was going to show, then I kind of inked it up just so it wouldn't be stark white. So these two pieces here, these are just pieces of ephemera from the kit that I printed on cardstock and then I stitched around. And after I stitched around them, then I made me a little hinge with another piece of scrap, and then I used some of that tape that I have colored to look old, and just to kind of better secure that right there, since it was just paper. And then I did the same thing here. I did another little hinge here so that they would overlap when I closed it, just like that. So then when you open it, I wanted to have a way to keep it tied shut. So in the kit, there's these cute little buttons, and they're actually bigger than this, but I used my little 1-inch or 5/8 inch punch. So I just punched them out so they'd be a perfect little circle. So these little buttons are from that. So what I did for this one is I took the little button that I had punched out, and I just took my sharp little tool and I just put 2 holes. And this one already has some little white dots that makes it easy. So just be careful not to poke yourself. And Sand Pool makes some really cute button dies that would be perfect for this. I have not bought those yet, but I plan on it in the future. So I just poked holes with my little sharp tool. And what you could have done instead of that, and had I thought about it before, I would have done that, but I already had those punched out. So you could go ahead and do your 2 little holes ahead of time, and then punch the button out like that. And that would have been a lot easier than poking them. And then you want to make sure your string's long enough to wrap around and tie. So I put my thread through a needle, and I'm just gonna run it through that button like that. So I'm going to tie it in a knot. And then from there, you can glue it down, let it dry really good. And then I ran it through here, poked a hole, and I'm a little crooked, but that's okay. Ran it through the little side hinge over here, and I also put a little glue right here just to kind of secure that, to keep anything from tearing. So I left my strings long enough, so when I'm ready to tie, then I can just put whatever was going in here and close it up, and then bring these strings together. So that way there's no string to get lost, or the papers aren't flopping and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to tie it, and that's not tied very tight. So that is what I did with that. Now, as you see these tiny little pieces of ephemera here, the little tags, this was some other scrapbook paper that I had, just little scraps that I had. So it went so well with this. I just used my little Magnolia doohickey dies, and I just cut some hearts and this little shape. So that way I could just run a string through them and kind of add them wherever I thought it needed a little extra something. So there's that one, and there's that one. And this one is actually tied onto this little tag here. It's almost like a bookmark. Okay, so there's that. On this side, this was just another little ephemera piece that I had printed out. I printed it on cardstock. And then, so as you open this pocket, this is just a little bit of gold polka dot tissue paper that I just added to the bottom of it. And the little button here is to kind of let you know where to attach the Velcro, because I went ahead and put a little Velcro on here just so it wouldn't flop open. So there's that. And I made this little bookmark tag. There's that little heart I was talking about. And so this was just a piece of ephemera in there, and it was actually printed on paper. So I went ahead and cut another piece off of another page to back it with, and just so it'd be a little bit sturdier. And so I just put this down in this pocket, and then in here, I don't know if you can see it, but I have this little string hanging so that it's easy to pull it out. And it's just another little rose tag that was in the kit too. So I just leave that hanging out the side, and then rather than having these hang out of the actual folio, I just kind of round them right here and let that Velcro catch it and keep them there. So that's how that looks. And this little pocket is actually just on paper. I probably should have made it on cardstock, but I kind of liked the not being so stiff here. But so there's that little pocket. Okay, so what I pulled out of here, I have stuck a little journal in here that is just very, very simple. I also have little dangles on it, just some pearls and some little rhinestones, a little heart, just a simple little paper journal. This was another little picture that was on another page. Here's another one of those little hearts. And let me show you. So the die cut has this little notch out of it to make it look distressed. So whenever you pop it out, it's like this. So guess what? The little notch fit perfectly to let her hand look like she was reaching up for those little angels. So I cut this out of another one of the pages on the ephemera. So I just thought that worked out really well. So there is how I did that. There's another one of those other little die cuts with the scrapbook paper. So I just glued her on here after I stitched around her and added these little pieces. And then to secure this part better, I went ahead and added some washi tape so that it would not tear as easy. So inside it's just strictly paper, just lightly coffee dyed paper just to have a little notepad or to make into a journal. So I just thought that would be sweet to put right inside here. And you can even take and tie this around here too, if you want. But I just kind of liked it just sitting in here because I have the seam binding ribbon to actually close it. So I'm just going to tie this back. Oh, inside here. So here, when you open these up, I just added another piece from a page that has angels. So if you'll notice the theme, it's pretty much an angel theme on this. But I just love all the little angel ephemera and pages that she had. And I thought it would be really, really neat to go ahead and just make something with all of these pieces that would go together. So I just love it. I think it's really, really sweet. All her artwork in this is real pretty. Like I said, I will link it below. Okay, so this is that little journal, and I'm just gonna set it right back in here. Just like that. It's just gonna fold up in there like that. And I forgot to say, this here is another Magnolia Doohickey die. It's just the corners, a really sweet little lace corner. I just cut those out of coffee dye paper so they wouldn't be so heavy and bulky. So I'm just going to tuck those little pearls to the side there so it closes easy. And then on the back side, I had this pocket, so I really didn't need another pocket, but I liked this piece here that says Faith. I thought it would go really well. So I went ahead and stitched around it and then made it another pocket on top of this. So you have a pocket here. So there's that piece of ephemera. And then this was another tag that was in the kit. And there's another one of those buttons. I just put it up there to kind of better secure that seam binding ribbon. And there's the angel that's on this tag. And so I just kind of colored up the backs of them. If they were white, I just kind of colored them with my my distress ink with my little dauber, just very lightly. And so you have this pocket, which goes all the way to the bottom, and then you have this pocket. So this can slide here, and this can slide here, like that. And I just love that it's so simple, but it's so sweet. So if you're interested in making one of these, be sure and check out that video by Tracy Sparkle. And if you like this kit, then go on Etsy. And on Etsy, she is Everlasting Journals. On Instagram, she's Christy Everlasting Journals. So just check that out. I'll put all of her links below. And I hope that you enjoyed this, because I really enjoyed making this. I just love all of these patterns and combinations of colors and the ephemera. I just think it turned out really sweet. I'm glad you joined me today, and I'll thank you for watching. And I thank you for all of you that are supporting my channel. And know that I'm sending you hugs. So I've got it all glued down now, and I think that's going to work. That just makes me feel better. And it just gives them just that little bit of covering, and it adds another some more dimension to the front. And so on the back, I left this part unglued where you can tuck behind it. I had some extra pieces of this that I had cut off, and so while I was at it, I just went ahead and brought that lace on into the folio just to kind of tie it all together. So I just kind of laid this one across sideways, and I think it just added a little extra something. And so I went ahead on this piece and did the same thing. So that actually can be another little tuck spot there. So sometimes those little things that happen just lead you on the pathway to something even better. So I really like adding this lace inside. I just think it gives it another element that just kind of tops it off. And I really like how it looks on this tag too. I'm glad that I noticed that, and I'm glad that this lace, you know, added something special to it. I'll just put this little journal back in here. So once this is around it like this, then I'm just going to tie this over the top of that lace, and it will just add one more depth and layer to what was already there. I just think it's pretty. So those cute little angels won't be naked. I think it just added another layer that is just really pretty. I love this vintage lace. So just wanted to show you what it looks like now. I like how it turned out, and I hope y'all like it. I hope you enjoyed it, and y'all just have a good weekend, and I will see you soon in the next video. God bless.